Patience is one of the greatest virtues. It's actually really underrated. And that is because we live in a world of instant gratification. We want things and we want them now. We want them yesterday, actually. We want things to just happen overnight. And I think being and given that we are in between eclipses and we have Mercury and Venus retrograde, this virtue of patience is going to help us in ways unimaginable. Kian, the one with the sun. Today the sun shines at 5 degrees Aries. We are leading up to the 29th, which is going to be the next eclipse and a brand new beginning. And honestly, guys, it's been quite the intense. It's been pretty intense. I'm not gonna lie. You know, there's today I had to do a lot of journaling in order for me to be able to get what's in my mind and in my emotions to a certain degree out on paper. And we're in between eclipses. So this is like a time of just major endings. You know, it was before my bedtime last night and I hit this wall. Like I was just so tired out of nowhere. I just became super sleepy. Typically in between eclipses, these 2 weeks, there's a lot of things that are moving, a lot of things that are coming to an end. And to add on top of this, we have Venus and Mercury retrograde. Talk about the need to be patient, right? The mind and the heart have slowed down for review, especially in the sign of Aries too. Aries is just like, let's go, let's get it. I want to get there now, right? Aries energy lives as if it's now or never, and that there is no tomorrow. The only other zodiac energy that I think is close to that is Scorpio. But Scorpio is all or nothing. No in-betweens. And Aries energy is 0 to 100 real quick. So during this time, I feel like we need to practice patience, okay? Because a lot of things are happening. Chapters are coming to a close. We have the 29th solar eclipse right after Neptune goes into the sign of Aries. And just before Neptune goes into Aries, on Thursday and on Saturday, we have Venus and Mercury conjunct this 29 degrees of Neptune. So if you feel like you're itching to get started on like a specific project or thing, or you want to get moving, change your entire circumstances, if things are like frustrating to you, you're like, this thing feels so immovable, practice patience. We speak about astrology. Astrology is one of the higher sciences next to music, geometry, arithmetic. These are sciences which help us grasp the universe at large, right? Especially music, right? Music literally taps us into the other side. It's like a bridge. And it's so inexplicable, but we certainly feel it. And it has a profound influence on us. And astrology is the same. But the virtues that we have are so important. It doesn't matter what you know it matters how present you can be with the moment. Because even me as an astrologer, I'm able to know and understand and be like, hey, this transit is coming up. This might happen. This might happen. Oh, this is looking like a great day. This is looking like more of an intense day. But it doesn't help me bypass my experience as a human. I can't just be like, all right, I know what's going to happen. Let me just I'm good. I don't have to experience it. No, we have to experience it. And the way that we can undergo the intensity of the human experience is by cultivating virtue. Again, I feel like we've lost touch with these timeless aspects of character because we're constantly looking for instant gratification, the next hit. We're constantly scrolling, looking for the next feed, looking for something to numb the pain, dull the pain. All right, and I'm telling you guys, literally, today was pretty intense for me. I was like, these eclipses are hitting. They're hitting hard too. So I wanted to come on here and speak about how patience is a virtue, and it is such a powerful virtue. The universe works in cycles, right? We can't have spring all the time. There needs to be expansion and contraction, growth and decay. There needs to be moments where there is enormous momentum, and then moments where we have to be still. Right? There's moments just like now where we have two planets retrograde, Mercury and Venus, where we have to dive inwards. We have to review matters of the heart and matters of the mind. Especially in Aries, it's just such an individualistic sign. It has to do with our base desires and our passions. Whereas Scorpio, the ancient ruler of Mars, is about being very strategic, okay? And then once it is certain, then it goes all in. Aries energy is like that first spark of passion, that first spark of inspiration that causes us to move in a completely new direction. Now, we're going to get to this eclipse, and a lot of us out there are going to have this new beginning that we are seeking. But keep in mind that Venus and Mercury are still in retrograde. So what that suggests to me is that we will feel this new beginning, right? It'll be an undeniable feeling that is going to become aware, that we're going to be aware of in our present consciousness, in our awareness, okay? The sun and the moon, feelings, awareness. Sun, awareness, moon, feelings. Right? In a conjunction, and to add to that, it is a solar eclipse. We're going to feel this new beginning, but then we still have these two planets in retrograde. So what that suggests to me is just we're going to have to continue to be patient until the middle of April. Once we get to the middle of April, then we have Venus in Pisces. I think this Thursday onwards, this is my prediction for people who are feeling this impatience out there, because again, Venus is in Aries. It's such a hot-headed sign, wants to go 0 to 100. And it's so against its nature to want to slow down and review, because it's act now, think later. But interestingly, we have to think about that notion of act now, think later. And I'm certainly going through this as well, especially with my content and what I'm doing out here in the social media space. But we have to be patient, because we're going to get this new beginning. We're going to feel it. We have to wait until the middle of the month because that's when the moon starts to grow in color. So my prediction is things are going to pick up momentum in the middle of April. But until then, utilize this period. Don't practice patience, okay? Utilize this period, practice patience. Don't try to rush the process. And this is one of my favorite spiritual teachers. He says, you don't have a problem, you're in a process. Because problems eventually get solved. Human beings don't like to be uncomfortable for too long. And because of that, what we do is we seek a way out. And we try to find a way to expand and conquer those problems and issues. Patience is a virtue because it allows for us to integrate and digest all the things that are happening, all the things that are coming to us, all the things that are leaving, especially during a potent time such as this, during eclipse season. This is the most karmic things happen, the most destined things happen in between eclipses. And that doesn't necessarily always mean externally, but internally as well. So we're going through this process of great change leading up to this new beginning. And this new beginning, in order for new beginnings to occur, there certainly have to be endings. And whether that's a perspective, an attitude shift, something that's internal that needs to be detoxified, maybe certain habits that are holding you back. It's a process, and the way to embody the process is through patience, a most supreme virtue. Patience with yourself, patience with others. Because once we get this new beginning, guys, especially in the middle of April, it is full speed ahead. Aries energy is not the type to sit around and wallow in feelings. It's a fire sign. It's very passionate. It's very bold. It's quick. It's detached. It is a masculine energy. Fire. And Aries is a cardinal sign and it initiates change. That's why, and I speak about this often, but it's true. Aries season is the best time to accomplish New Year's resolutions, new goals, right? Now, I didn't mean to put the new goals in quotes, but new goals. The air quotes was for the resolutions, New Year's resolutions. But since we're in the middle of this retrograde season with two personal planets, okay? Mercury and Venus are personal planets. They deal with the heart, our pleasures, how we, or what we derive pleasure from, how we connect with others, our values. And Mercury, the mind, how we speak, how we communicate and exchange ideas with each other. Both retrograde. But here's the thing. I am looking forward to two celestial events that are going to assist us in easing some of this pressure. The first one is Thursday. Venus is going to ingress back into, Venus retrograde is going to ingress back into Pisces, where her best and brightest qualities are. She does not like to be in Aries because she doesn't have time for any BS. But when we get Venus retrograde back into Pisces, there's just so much more compassion, so much more forgiveness, understanding. Right? We become that much more sensitive and selfless. Right? Aries is like now or never. Pisces has all of eternity. And then the next one, Mercury. Mercury in Pisces, which is going to happen Saturday. Now, Mercury in Pisces is a little foggy. It is opposite his ruling sign, Virgo, right? And we have a Mercury retrograde in Pisces this Saturday, conjunct Neptune. So things aren't going to be as they appear in the realm and level of mind. And this is all happening just before that solar eclipse. So guys, be patient, because we got 29 degrees Pisces, Neptune. Venus is going to come along. Mercury is going to come along. We are going to have to endure uncertainty, and we have to be patient enough to bear through dissolvings of what no longer belongs. We have to be okay with things coming to an end. But they're coming to an end because we're getting ready for this bold, brand new beginning, right? Aries solar eclipse. Bold, brand new beginnings. So be patient, because patience is a virtue. I was going to say patience and being patient is a virtue. But I'm excited, honestly. It's been a little tough, I'm not going to lie. I'm curious how your eclipse experiences have been. Feel free to share it below. But it's been, especially today, it was kind of like, it was a little intense for me. But during these times, you have to really practice discernment. And I love how much the ego loves to attribute a story to what's going on, like what we're going through. You know, is it this person? Is it this circumstance? Why am I so irritable? It's because of this or this or this or this. Or blaming all these things outside of us, while the entire time, this is an internal affair. Life is an internal affair. To quote one of my favorite authors, Florence Scovel Shinn, life is a game of solitaire. As you change, conditions will change. So be patient. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with others. Be patient in this process of change, because you are changing inevitably. And you have to go through this process. It's our body that is in this process. Our soul is already there, but the body is stuck in this time-space continuum. And the body has to go through the process, right? Where are our emotions? They're in our body, right? When we get to the mental realm, then we're going somewhere else. But the mental realm also affects the body in the emotions. Patience is a virtue. Everything you want in life is already accomplished. Yes, I said it. Everything you want in life is already accomplished. Only you are standing in your own way. The universe and its genius and its flawless mechanism allows for nothing to be undone. Imagine the perfect harmony of the cosmos. And in this perfect harmony, nothing clashes with one another. I'm talking astronomically. Let's just imagine astronomically. Gravity holds everything, all the planets in place. And things are so precise, so exact. This is the wisdom of Virgo energy and the esoteric understanding of the Virgo Pisces axis. Virgo is so mundane, practical, day-to-day details. But on the opposite end, Pisces is the transcendent reality, divinity, spirit that permeates through the day-to-day, the small little details. Everything has consciousness. Everything is alive. So be patient, because your brand new beginning is coming. Let's jump into the chat. Let's see what the peeps got to say. Shout out to Nano CBD, Colton, Leslie, Umit. Umit says Sun, Mercury, Moon, and Lilith in Aries. Neptune is in the first Sagittarius rising star. Amazing. Wow. Are you a teacher? I feel like that's such a teacher archetype. A spiritual teacher, perhaps. Or somebody very creative. Leslie says, I need the peace. And I wish you the peace. Truly. I think it's not easy, okay? Right now, the intensity of the eclipses, a lot of people are feeling it. I certainly was. But when I feel these things, I go into self-care mode, right? I really, truly look how I can fill my cup, because then I could be here with you guys and be able to be clear in thought, feeling, speech, and be of service. Shout out to Nano CBD. It's going well, Kian. You're providing key wisdom insights. I'm glad. Which religion you follow, says Weather Report. Man, I really like this question. And I've answered this before on the live, okay? And my answer to it was love. Because love can assist us in seeing the unity of life and our interconnectivity. But also, love honors the self, right? This is such Aries energy. Love honors our own needs and what we are here to do, right? And that's self-love. It's a different form of love. So there's so many different forms of love, right? There's self-love. There's love of your fellow human being. There's romantic love. There is creative love, you know. There's so many different kinds of love. And I really truly believe, and let me just go back real quick. That's where I'm at now, okay? I was born Muslim, and I practiced with my father until about 7 or 8. Then we moved to the United States. And in that move, as time went on, we continued to separate from our faith. And then when I was 16, I went through like a complete atheistic stage. But the spiritual, when I was a kid, I would feel the spiritual aspects and practices and the mysticism of the Islamic religion. But then I went through this atheistic phase, you know, my rebel teenage phase in my teenage years. And eventually I began to study esoteric things, esoteric knowledge, wisdom, like astrology, yoga, magic. And then I got into mysticism, which then I studied Buddhism, Christianity. You know, Islam was already something that I had practiced before. Taoism, Hinduism as well. And yes, magic. And I'll break that down for you here in a second. because it's not what people think. People think of like magic as like some like wizard or sorcery or having to do with like conjuring up, you know, demons and angels and all this stuff. But that's not magic in the truest sense of the word. Maybe there are people who practice that. Also learned divination. You know, divination is the art of divining, of being able to predict the future or give advice in a psychic fashion, you know. And through that I studied astrology, tarot, the I Ching, and runes, casting runes as well. So let's get to your question on magic. Magic is the art and science of creating change in conformity with your will. I'm going to say it again. Magic is the art, it's an art because it's creative, and science because it's a scientific process of creating change, right? Any change that you wish to create outside of yourself. You know, you want to become a famous author, you want to make more money, you know, you want to help the world. In conformity with the will, which means creating this change through it's an art and science of creating change in conformity, in alignment with your will. And what is the will? It is what you wish to do, simply put. You know, it is my will to be on this live stream with you guys, emanating astrological knowledge and promoting virtue, because the change I wish to create is, 1, to grow this channel, 2, to serve the people who subscribe to me. That is magic in the truest sense of the word. Not necessarily, like I said, this woo-woo, like whatever, even though there are practices of that kind of magic in the world and people who practice that. But in the truest sense of the word, magic is creating change in conformity with the will. And we are all magicians. And when we fail to create that change, it's because the art and science portion of it were not perfect. We missed a step maybe in the scientific aspect of it, because if we approach it from a very scientific aspect, we form a hypothesis, and then we test the hypotheses, and then once we test it, we note our results. And then next time we can see, okay, this yielded this result, and maybe I need to double down on this and continue this. And then the art is the missing gaps, right? That creativity. So you have the magic where it's like, okay, boom, 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 boom. I did all this, but still I didn't get the result I want. What else can I do different? This is where the art of magic comes in, of being a magician, I should say. The art of being a magician is and has to do with our ability to be creative, come up with creative solutions. Because if you are able to perfect your art and your science in conformity and in creating change in conformity with your will, you are a freaking magician, right? You're a master manifester. And you can create what you want. Now, there's a whole other breakdown that I could do regarding this, but we'll leave it for maybe a future video. This is actually good, because I've been making more long form videos as well, so stay tuned for that one. Hustle or Starve Entertainment says your thoughts, words, and actions determine everything. See? That too is magic. Observe silently and thoughtfully. That too is magic. There is no end to creativity, and there is no end to science, to seeing what we can learn, what we can experiment with as human beings. Most people are content with comfort and their limitations. They don't really seek to expand or break through beyond, which is fine, okay? Not judging anybody. But have you ever thought about how infinite the possibilities are of your life? Granted, you will be who you are and nothing more. So if it is not in your nature to expand and explore and evolve and grow physically, mentally, spiritually, then you probably won't even come across this video. Or it won't happen. You know, forget this video, but it just won't happen. But if you are growth oriented, if you are goal oriented, you will inevitably reach the change that you seek. But we are always refining. We are literally knowledge's servant. There's so many books out there, so much knowledge out there, so many ways for us to expand our horizons that we don't really know of yet. And when I say that, this is what I mean. We don't know what we don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And it will remain to be the case until you dare to venture into the unknown. And this is, welcome to eclipse season, first and foremost. The eclipse season is the unknown. So you feeling it, you know, welcome to the unknown. Practice patience. We'll make it through, I promise you. You don't know what you don't know. And when you admit that to yourself and have a true desire to know more and to be more, you will. You absolutely will. Like this whole thing that I'm doing here, One with the Sun, this is my daily astrology vlog. It has expanded beyond anything I first imagined it to be. And we're going to continue to expand, especially on the 29th, guys. We're going to start multi-streaming. I already set it up, but I decided on a launch day for the multi-streaming, which is going to be the 29th on the eclipse. We're going to honor this new beginning. Okay, all the way until then, I'm being patient, practicing patience, integrating, because when we have that full moon, right? When we have that full moon, it's going to be, it's a culmination, right? That lunar eclipse that we just had. And now from that lunar eclipse to the solar eclipse, it's a period of integration, right? There was the fullness of the moon, right? We reached a culmination, a peak. And what happens? The moon's light begins to wane. And so what must we, with whatever realizations that came about during that lunar eclipse, begin to integrate all that we received in preparation for this new beginning. And it feels like a long time, but it's like literally right around the corner. It's this weekend. And to be exact, I think I might launch it on the 29th. That's the launch day. But I think since I only do Sunday to Friday, it might be on the 30th. Like that's the first like day, but I think I'm going to set everything up on that day. So the next day, boom, do like a test one. And then next day, we launch. We launch. And it's going to be fantastic. Yep. The 30th. That's probably going to be the first day of the multi-streaming. But I'm going to get everything squared away on the 29th. So if you're joining these lives from then on, you're going to see, just expect to see and me interact with people who may not be in the chat, because I'm really excited to go live on TikTok. I think there's like a different crowd there. And yeah, more to come. Anyways, I think in the matters of patience being a virtue, I have spoken. Let me know what you guys received from this video, what the light that you received from this video was in the comments below. Maybe now, maybe after the video. Make sure you guys are subscribed and have the bell notifications on so you always are notified of my daily live streams. Sunday to Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to stick around for a short minute or two. If there are no questions, then I will end with a prayer for all of us. To the grand architect of the universe, the divine one that is the many, we thank you for this eclipse season, this time of major endings, this time of closure, this time of healing, this time of letting go. May all that no longer serves us or belongs in our life leave with grace, leave with ease, so that we may have space to receive the new reality. Reality that is filled with love and wisdom, passion and boldness, and a new beginning. Amen. Much love, everybody. See you guys tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, in being one with the sun. Peace.